Get started. Mark has a lot of wonderful things to share with us this morning, and I want to make sure that we get enough time, give him enough time to share. Good morning. How you doing? And it's good to see all you in this late morning. So I'm not going to take a lot of time. I do want you to know that that you're welcome. Want you to feel welcome, and want you to enjoy what Mark has to share with us. So it's always good to invite the Lord to lead and guide us no matter what we're doing. So we're going to invite the Lord's presence in here. Then we're going to turn it over to Mark. Then Mark is going to give us a run for our money. Shall we bow our heads? Our Father in God, we thank you for another day of life and another opportunity to learn how to be healthy spiritually and physically. And so we pray that you will lead and guide Mark as he shares all the wonderful things he has learned over the years about how to keep a healthy relationship with you and with our bodies. We pray for open minds for all of us under the sound of his voice, and we long to give you all the praise and the glory for what we do in Christ Jesus. Amen. She's all yours, Mark.
Well, amen. Thank you all. Yes, we're going to have a fun, interesting program today. I'm going to do things a little differently. We talked yesterday about a couple things. Water was a big issue, and prayer. That was the two main topics I talked about yesterday. And the refrigerator station. Did y'all like the refrigerator station? Did that make sense to you? You know, design your refrigerators for success. Well, and by the way, do we have any more DVDs left? Woo! Y'all did pretty good on that one. Well, you know, I was looking at this, and I said, wait a minute. Because we weren't supposed to be having any samplings or snacks or anything scheduled for this conference right before lunch kind of thing. But I'm reading this sign. Doesn't it say living generously and sharing faithfully? And I said to myself, you know what? I just need to get them all a DVD. Is that okay? But those DVDs are conditional, okay, because living generously, okay, we've got the generosity out there. You know, those aren't just words. And I was thinking about this last night, even when Elizabeth was talking and everything. You know, living generously is a great concept, a great word phrase, but unless you actually start doing something, it's really meaningless, isn't it? Now, it's up to you to do the second half of this, sharing faithfully. So when you're done with those DVDs, you got to go give it to somebody else. Not stick it in a closet where it's going to remain for the rest of its days, you know. I'm really into sharing. And I encourage people to copy my DVDs. If you want to copy them by the dozens and hand them out to people. I tell people all over the country to do that. Make copies, hand it out. You know, we have got the health message that no other entity, no other church, no other anything in the world has. And it's up to us to share that with other people. And we have been keeping it to ourselves for so many years that you got all these other people that have been learning about this health message through other avenues, and now they're getting all the credit, they're getting all the glory instead of God. You know, so we really need to do our part in sharing faithfully the message that we have learned. And now yesterday, okay, we did water, we did prayer, but there's a third part to this. You know, I like working in threes, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, there's one other detail to this that we've got to add, especially for cost effectiveness, and that is exercise. I mean, how many of us are really exercising the way we should? So, and those are the three easiest free things to do. Prayer is free, water is pretty much free, unless you got to pump it with electricity. But, you know, water is free, and exercise is pretty much free, isn't it? You know, and and I think of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. You know, we've got the Father, we've got prayer, we've got water, the Holy Spirit, right? Water? Yeah. And exercise is your power, which is Christ. So if you just maintain those three, water, exercise, and prayer, I mean, you've already done 90% of the battle. So I want people to definitely exercise. By the way, I went to the health club this morning, hour and a half in the health club. Now, we got to understand something about exercise because there's so many people that are not exercising whatsoever. Years ago, we were a very active society. People had to actually work and plow the fields, and we were hard workers. But now we've got softer and softer and softer. And let me tell you, if you're one of those people that is working in a desk job, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week kind of thing, you're not getting any exercise, you'll have to go to the health club for an hour every day just to break even. That's just to break even. That's not even to transform your health into a healthier lifestyle, because it's just that way. We've got to be active. God made us bodies to be active. And there's a couple things you want to know about exercise too, just to share with you real quick here, because there are actually, you can look at some of the best athletes in the world that are actually vegans. Of course, stretching is very important. Walking is a big thing. My wife and I do a lot of walking. We are big walkers. Mall walking in the middle of winter when it's 400 below up in Michigan. I didn't know it was going to be that cold when I went to Michigan. I thought, but it gets cold up there. We do a lot of mall walking. And I always tell people, go buy an expensive treadmill instead of an inexpensive one. If you buy a cheap one, you're not going to be as committed to it as if you go buy an expensive one. You go buy an expensive one, and you're going to be like, well, I am going to use this. I spent this much money on this thing. I'm going to get on this thing. So sometimes you're better off buying the more expensive one, and it gives you a deeper commitment to exercising. A lot of athletes out there that are really big, really healthy athletes out there. I had a part here about slow twitch and fast twitch. Where's it at? Oh, here. Here's your slow twitch and fast twitch. I don't know if you know the differences, but we have two types of muscles in our body, slow twitch and fast twitch. Now, your slow twitch muscles contract for long periods of time with little force, while fast twitch muscles contract quickly and powerfully, but fatigue rapidly. So your fast twitch muscles is for your weight and strength training. Your slow twitch muscles is what you use for endurance. And so it's really important to exercise both muscles. A lot of people that are doing nothing but cardio, they don't have that strength training. And then there's a lot of people that do strength training that don't have that cardio. But it's a really good idea to get both of those, slow twitch and fast twitch. Now today, we're going to talk about a couple topics here. My first topic is going to be about getting your biggest meal for breakfast. I got to plug this thing in, don't I? I'll plug it in here in a minute. I got a waffle maker. We're going to make some waffles here. Biggest meal for breakfast is so important. A smaller lunch and a smaller dinner. We all know this? Well, if you look at society, oh man, they have their smallest meal for breakfast, a bigger lunch, and a bigger dinner. It's the exact opposite. Here we go, turning the whole world upside down. And let me tell you, Satan has had 6,000 years to turn this entire world upside down. So a lot of us were born into this upside down world. And when you really look at things, it's like, wow. Look at the biggest meal for breakfast. In society, they do their smallest meal for breakfast, a bigger lunch, and a bigger dinner. Now, we just need to turn that whole system upside down. And when you do that, it does a couple really important things for you. The first thing it does, you're not going to be hungry all day long. When you eat nothing for breakfast, you're starving yourself all day. So you have to have bigger meals, and then you have your biggest meal before you go to bed. That doesn't even make sense, does it? And you actually eat way too much food that way. And here in America, we just eat way too much, which is one of my problems, especially when I'm in the studio kitchen cooking all these day and night. Sometimes I'm cooking. I got to really be careful. But now, if you have your biggest meal for breakfast, it's going to do some really important things for you. You're not going to be hungry for one, which saves calories, and it saves money because you're eating less, right? Now, here's the other bonus to having the biggest meal for breakfast. You're going to have more energy throughout the day. And let me tell you, I have more energy now than I did back when I was in my 20s. And when you have more energy, you're going to be more active. So you're burning calories, so that's helping weight control again. And you're actually going to have better muscle tone, better joints, better ligaments, because you're more active. So that biggest meal for breakfast is critical, to have a biggest meal for breakfast. You're going to eat less, you're going to have more energy, burning more calories, you're going to maintain better muscle tone, better joints, better ligaments, and the list goes on and on and on about the benefits of a biggest meal for breakfast. Hey, let me show you how to make the world's easiest breakfast. I got a whole wheat tortilla here, and let me tell you, these whole wheat tortillas right here, I get them at Sam's Club and Costco. These are the commercial ones, and they're so much healthier than all the other ones out there, and they're a fraction of the price. You just got to go look for them, though, because they're not always on that main shelf. But we're just going to take a whole wheat tortilla and a banana with some peanut butter, and so we go like that, like that. Do I have a minute to do this? I don't know what my time is on this. This is the world's fastest breakfast. There you go. Are you ready for it? Anybody? It's easy to have at least something, right? Yeah, biggest meal for breakfast. There you go. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, breakfast is so important. And we're going to do some waffles here. I'm going to make some waffles. Well, let's go to a video. I got to go to a video real quick because I want to show you what my oatmeal station looks like at home. If you have not, well, we're going to do the video of the 3ABN one first. So let's take a look at this video real quick. Hope you got that. Yes. How to turn your refrigerator into a salad bar. Mm-hmm. This is actually my oatmeal station.
Your oatmeal station.
An oatmeal station. You have to have an oatmeal station in your home.
Amen.
And people are like, what do you mean have an oatmeal station in my home? Open up that drawer and take a look at this.
Woo.
Now, I did this for my brother, and my brother he was 400 pounds. He's already lost 100 pounds.
Amen.
And by putting an oatmeal station in his house, he used to eat bacon and eggs every morning for breakfast. Mm-hmm. And now he eats oatmeal. He had a heart attack, ended up in the hospital.
Wow.
And his cholesterol was at 1,000. And we've got his cholesterol down to 170 now.
Praise God.
Just by eating healthy. No statins or anything.
What a difference, huh?
Yeah. And the oatmeal station, look at this. Isn't this something?
It looks great.
This
Makes
is the way
me
you
want to
set
cook.
it up. Right up here. See, we've got a regular oatmeal here. And you can do different kinds of oatmeal. You can do steel cuts. You can do regular oats. I like the quick oats, of course. And then up here, I actually have some granolas. These are some of the granolas we made. And then over here on the top of the other side, I have cream of wheat. Sometimes I'll do, I've got the wheat germ here. I'll do a flaxseed. Usually I have a jar of flaxseed here.
Very good.
So I've got my little toppings there for my oatmeal.
Yes.
And if you go one level down here, we'll go down to the next level.
Yes.
This right here is all my little toppings.
Dried fruits.
Dried fruits. We've got raisins and craisins. Here's some dried cherries.
Blueberries.
Right here. Blueberries.
Yes.
Yeah. And some bananas.
Yes. Papaya.
This one's the papaya. Yeah.
Yes.
And
coconut flakes.
Coconut flakes.
Yes.
Over here to the next section, you've got cinnamon. This is actually an apple pie spice.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll put nutmeg in there, things like that. And I do have some cinnamon sticks there because sometimes I'll even grind cinnamon sticks.
So we can have pie for breakfast.
Yeah. And then down on the bottom shelf over
have
here,
your nuts.
There's nuts. And you can do any kind of nuts you want.
Right.
I like pecans.
Me too.
Walnuts,
Almonds.
things like that. And you got your almonds here.
Yes.
And then over here, I do have some brown sugar. This maple syrup. This is actually a maple flavoring right here. And no sugar. And it tastes just like maple. It is absolutely breathtaking. You want to try it? Here.
Nice.
Let me let you try it. Just do a little shake on the finger there.
Shake on the finger.
Yeah. And
I've never used it before.
Yeah.
You're sending me to the grocery store.
It tastes exactly like maple without the sugar.
Very
and then I do
good.
some vanilla and agave nectar.
Yes.
I also like stevia down here. Stevia is probably my favorite of the sweeteners. And but look at that. And so
this is great.
What I did at my brother's, I had this whole station set up like this, and of course it was up on the wall. And then down below it, I actually have his fruit basket. and I'll
Nice.
have the apples and
Yes,
bananas,
bananas,
so he can always
mangoes.
chop up those in every single one of his things.
Nice. Well, this is inviting, and it's so,
so easy.
nice. You know, that way family can just help themselves, and
Yeah.
it encourages you to have a healthier
And when you
choice.
have the granolas all made up, they're
Yes.
just, your breakfast is done in just minutes.
Great.
And one thing I
Wonderful.
did with my coffee pot, you know, see if you got these coffee pots at home that you're not using anymore, now you'll have a reason to actually use them, because you could actually run water through your coffee pot. And
That's
I'll
right.
actually take my bowl, let me say I'll take my bowl right here, and I'll put in my quick oats about halfway,
Yes.
and then just take the coffee pot water. That way I don't have to
hot water
microwave it or
into it.
anything.
Yes.
And you just fill it up with hot water, you let it rest for about 5 minutes, you come back and it's done.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah, it's so easy to
Very
do.
good.
But
Well-
this will actually help you so much in your kitchen to have stations like this.
Yes.
You can have different stations for so many different things. You can have, you know, your salad station. Now you got your oatmeal station. I mean, I do a pasta station. I have my spice station.
Wow.
You know, and I go through some of these in the book. But you know, it's such a simple concept.
Yes.
And once people catch on to the concept, man, they
Being
absolutely
organized
love
in
it.
the kitchen.
Yeah,
Yes.
so-
It's like the blender. If you have it out in the counter, you're going to use it more often.
Exactly.
Very good.
So yeah, thought
All
you'd like
right.
that.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. You're full of good and great tips.
Great. My brother, oh, by the way, I don't know if you caught that. My brother had a cholesterol level of 1,000. He's 400 pounds. He had a heart attack. He went in the hospital. The next morning for breakfast, they actually gave him bacon and eggs. 3 times they did that to him. Now, I'm actually the youngest of 6 kids. I don't know if I mentioned that. All my brothers and sisters are 300 to 400 pounds. I've got 2 brothers over 400 pounds. And my brother, oh, he was in horrible shape. And I went to go visit him. And he, I mean, white as a ghost. I mean, he just, we did a cholesterol check. His cholesterol was at 900. And in 3 weeks, going all vegan, no animal products whatsoever, in 3 weeks, his, and no statins, in 3 weeks, his cholesterol went from 900 down to 300 and change. And what I did was I redesigned his kitchen for success. I mean, I did his refrigerator like a salad bar, like we showed you yesterday. I turned his cabinets into an oatmeal station, so he's got everything he needs for oatmeal. You know, and those are the kind of things that make a real success. Now, he's, let's see, it's been probably 4.5 years for him now. He's sticking to the plan. He's got his cholesterol down to 170, and he's lost over 100 pounds. And let me tell you, before, he couldn't even walk to the parking lot without taking 3 breaks. And now he's power walking every day. He's at a health club. He's part of a volleyball team. You know, so I mean, he's getting there. He's still got a ways to go, but he's really getting there. So that's what you got to do. You've got to do some changes like that. Here, let me show you how to make an oatmeal real quick. And I'm going to use, this is a mixture of quick oats and regular oats. So you can use the mixture of quick and regular oats. Now, I've got steel cut oats here. I'm going to show you the quick way to do it. Has anybody ever seen the quick steel cut oats? See, a lot of people don't know that there is actually quick steel cut oats out there now. Now, you could not do this with regular steel cut oats, but you can with the quick steel cut oats. So we'll put some quick steel cut oats in there. And then this is my oatmeal station when I'm on the road. In my trailer, I actually have an oatmeal station in my trailer. And so from here, now that you can put in anything you want. And I've got cinnamon here, so we can put a shot of cinnamon there if we want. Anything you want. Sweetener here, we'll do a little maple syrup. Or you can put it on afterwards. That's always whichever way you want to go with that. I've got a little bit of coconut flakes. You can throw some coconut flakes in there. And one of my favorites, too, that I use all the time is the ground flaxseed. Here's your omega-3s, and I use that almost every morning in my oatmeals. We've got vanilla here. Stevia. There's my stevia right there. Now, this is one of my favorites, too, for sweeteners. I'll take this any day over anything else. 630 portions in a container. And there's a little spoon in here. If you can see this little spoon, I mean, it's 16 times more powerful than sugar. So you really don't want to overdo it or it makes your food taste bitter. It's actually, but it's so potent and so strong. And you can actually buy stevia leaves and grow it. Grow it at home and just pull the leaves off and crush them up and after you dry them and that type of thing. And then we're just going to hit this with some boiling hot water here. And I'm going to fill it pretty close here and see how far we get. And give this baby a stir. You got to give it a stir right now. Oh man, I had this for breakfast, by the way. I do that almost every morning. My wife and I at home, we do a lot of different things, but oatmeal is still a 5-day-a-week, 6-day-a-week type of thing. And when you got your oatmeal station, every person in the family can create a different oatmeal. So you do it like that, and we're going to set this baby aside, and in 5 minutes, it's ready to eat. So it's really that easy to do oatmeal in the morning. No dirty pots on the stove, none of these microwave messes. It's just a faster, easier, simpler way to get your healthy oats in the morning. And with steel cut too, which we're going to talk about those in a little bit here. But let's go to this other video, because I got to show you exactly what my video, my at home, that one was staged. That oatmeal station was staged for 3ABN. But I want to show you exactly what my oatmeal station at home really looks like. So let's go to the video. Hi, Mark Anthony here, and I'm at home taking a little break and wanted to show you what my kitchen looks like, a little bit of how I designed my kitchen. And this right here is my oatmeal station. And this is not staged. People ask me, they're like, is your home really set up? And I'm like, yeah, it is. This is my oatmeal station. And let me tell you, when you get your kitchen designed to function better, you're going to have so much more success in your achieving your health goals. And right here, every oatmeal station I've done is different. I've done this for other people too. Mine, I've got some honey up here. I've got some backup things. A couple cold cereals that are the healthy ones. Got some wheat germ and ground flaxseed. Now these containers here, they come in so handy. These are nice airtight so nothing dries out in them. And I've got raisins and craisins and dried blueberries and dates down here. I've got nuts with pecans and walnuts and almonds, things like that. Right here I've got brown sugar and coconut flakes, which works really good. My oats right here. I've got my steel cut oats, and I put little labels in them too if I need to make sure I tell them apart. My quick oats are here. These are my regular oats. Right here's my granolas. And if you haven't checked out my oatmeal into granola, I show you how to take leftover oatmeal and turn it right into granola. And it's just a gorgeous granola. It really tastes great. Here's another granola. The bottom shelf here, I've got a little bread station. I do my own homemade breads. Right here I've got some apple pie spice and pumpkin pie and cinnamon, peanut butter, sweeteners back here, honey powder. If you don't have honey powder, make sure you get that. It's really good. Palm sugar, there's some natural sugars and molasses back here. My favorites is this stevia, and there's different brands. You can get the liquids or the powders, so those work really good. But just wanted to share with you a concept, because if you start getting your kitchen designed right, it's going to work. It's going to give you so much more success. And look at how fast and easy and convenient this is, that you can make oatmeals in a minute. That's on another one of my videos. And I've got my little breakfast nook here in case I need to grab a little power bar or something like that. But you know, this is my kitchen. I don't have a big fancy home. You know, this is just my studio kitchen is actually far better than my home kitchen. I just live a simple life, and but I have really been impressed to share with you the health information that God has shared with me. And that's what this is about, is helping you get a healthier lifestyle like I've been able to do. So 75 pounds later, just weighed in this morning, 75 pounds later, and plus I'm going to try to lose that last 20 or 30 over the next 12 weeks if you can stay tuned for all the 12-week series that we're getting ready to record. So anyway, Mark Anthony, and thought I'd share this with you, and you have a blessed day. Get your kitchen designed to be more user-friendly, and you will have a lot more success. So be blessed, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Five minutes later, and see how thick it is? Now, I like my oatmeal thick. That's the way I eat my oatmeal. So you could add some soy milk or something to that, but that's exactly perfect for my oatmeal. So anyway, does that work for you? Is that easy enough? Get your kitchens designed for success if you want to have success. And I'll tell you what, that oatmeal station, my dad loves it. He uses it every single day. I've done it for quite a few people, and you can create your own, and it's just a fabulous thing to have. Now, a couple other things we're going to talk about real quick here before I get on to some more cooking. And one of them is calorie density. And if you don't know what calorie density is where you have a lot of calories in an itty-bitty little area. Okay, that's calorie density. And then we're going to look at satiety ratings. Satiety ratings is what type of satisfaction your body's getting from the foods that you're eating. So calorie density and satiety ratings. And interestingly enough, there's quite a few charts out there. You can get some charts out there on the internet that will tell you calorie density. Your best foods, it's got your fruits and vegetables. That's your best foods for calorie density. Your worst foods is your oils, your butters, your nuts, your chocolate chips, things like that, because there's a lot of calories in an itty-bitty little area. The more processed things get, the worse they usually are. And now there's other charts out there about satiety indexes, about satiety ratings. Your satiety ratings is how filling you're going to be. And at the top of the chart here, the best satisfaction you can ever get is from potatoes. That's the most satisfying of anything. And it goes down from there. In fact, oatmeal is right up at the top, and soybeans, number 1 and 2, soybeans. So people are not understanding that these things are the things you should be eating, the things that give you a higher satiety rating. So I want to share with you a couple things here, okay? And just to kind of show you examples of this, we're going to start with this right here. Now, I don't know if any of you know what this is. This right here is actually this entire bag of chips. Just crunched into a little baggie. I just crunched them down and put them in a little baggie, which it's actually 2,800 calories. Okay, and let me tell you, I could eat this bag of chips in a day. I could eat it probably in an hour or two. I mean, a little bag like this right here is 600 calories. And I could definitely eat that in 5 minutes. So that is very calorie dense. You're getting a lot of calories with not a lot of satiety. Your satiety, you're not getting any, you're going to be hungry as soon as you're done eating it. So that's the difference here. 2,700 calories. Let me tell you, you'd have to eat 15 pounds of potatoes to get the same calories as you do in this little bag of potato chips. What do you think's going to fill you up more? Yeah, 15 pounds of potatoes. That's where you're going to get your nutrition. That's where you get your energy. And you're not getting all the calories that go with it. Then you wonder why you're not losing weight. You know, eat the potato, not the potato chip. Calorie density is so important. How about this one right here? Take a look at that one. That one right there, well, that's actually this entire loaf of bread. Look at that. I'm telling you, you know, bread for the most part is not unhealthy. Even white bread, as long as it's not unbleached or bleached, you know, the bleach thing. But there is white wheat out there. Just to let you know, there's white wheat. There's hard red winter wheat. There's different types of wheat. But the point is that this bag will squeeze down right into this little baggie. And let me tell you, this one right here, I didn't do the math on this yet. I got a new bag here. 2,100 calories. And you eat any bread, it doesn't fill you up. It doesn't give you a satiety rating. You know, you're still going to be hungry. So that's why people, you know, they say stay away from white bread. It's not that it's bad for you, like most of the people in society, oh, don't eat wheat, it'll kill you. Don't eat bread. It's not that it's bad for you nourishment-wise, but you're not getting the energy. It's not worth the calories. It is just not worth the calories because it's not giving me the energy that I need. So, but that's the difference. Isn't that amazing? Skinny Pop popcorn. Everybody's like, ooh, that must be healthy, right? We got Skinny Pop popcorn. Take a look at this down here. Only 39 calories per cup. That's that would be like a little handful for me, wouldn't it? I mean, this would be like 5 cups. You know, 39 calories per cup. People are going to eat and eat and eat and eat, especially when they see this label. Oh, it's skinny. It's good for you. And it does nothing for your satiety rating. You're going to eat and eat and eat and eat. And this bag right here, I'm sure it's 12, well over 2,000 calories. So once again, 2,000 calories, you'd have to eat 15 pounds of potatoes to get the same satiety out of this thing. So, remember yesterday we were talking about the hummus? I got the label right here. If you can zoom in on this, you got to get this. Look at the calories on this. 80 calories. Where's the calories from fat? They removed it. This is 65% calories from fat. They removed it from the label because they don't want you to know that this baby is 65% calories from fat and is extremely unhealthy. Hummus is very healthy, but not when you're sitting here buying the store-bought one that they load with oil and is 65% calories from fat. Even honey, you know, that's 60 calories for a tablespoon. So you're not getting, I mean, it's just heavy calories in a small amount. Oil, of course, 120 calories for a tablespoon. By the way, the average person consumes 2 of these every month. Vegetable oil alone. We're going to talk about that. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday on that one with the oils. I've got another satiety rating here for you. Here's another satiety rating. 50 grapes or 50 raisins. What do you think? What do you think is going to fill you up more, 50 grapes or 50 raisins? Same amount of calories for the most part, but let me tell you, this is calorie dense. The grapes is not. And this will fill you up a lot more than the raisins do. It's not that raisins are bad for you in any way, shape, or form, but you got to look at that calorie density because that's really going to get you. Calorie density is a huge, huge issue. So, okay, we got that. Let me get some cooking. I got to get some cooking going here. And we're going to make some waffles. We're going to make some waffles here. So I'm going to show you the easy, genius way to make waffles. Really, nobody knows about this one. Some people do. But you can use regular oats or quick oats. I've actually got half and half here. And, well, I better do just 1 quart because I'm running a little low here. So right here, 1 quart of regular or quick oats. And then we're going to have to take 1 quart of milk. It's actually better to put the dry in there first and then put the liquid in there. If you put the liquid in there, then you put the dry in there, you're going to have all this oatmeal sticking to the sides, so that's why I do that. 1 quart and 1 quart. That should be about just right. We're going to let this blend for about a minute here, and that's it. Well, here, I'll do it 1 step farther. That's it. That's your recipe right there. Equal parts of soy milk or almond milk or orange juice if you want to make a citrus type, any type of liquid. You can use water. Equal parts of liquid and oats. Regular oats or quick oats is what you got to use. So you got equal parts of both of those. And now you can actually put some flavoring in there. If you want to put some cinnamon in there, you can put some cinnamon in there. If you want to put some vanilla, you can put a shot of vanilla in there if you want. Let's go with, coconut too if you want. I can really get carried away here with flavor. We've got literally dozens of different recipes. You do definitely want to put a little bit of sweetener in there, whether it be maple syrup or honey. The sugar is actually going to help brown the waffle. So if you get the sugar in there, I don't mind the light colored waffles so much as some people do, but a lot of people are just psychologically, they want that browning. So you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of that in there. We're going to give this a blend for just about a minute here. Hit it on low and then on high. Now, this is a little on the thin side, so I'm going to add some more oats. If I let this set for about 5 or 10 minutes, it will actually thicken up. But we're going to kind of speed up the process here a little bit and add some oats. One thing you can also do is you can take the liquid and the oats, just mix them together in a bowl and let them set for a couple hours. We've put it in a bowl and let it set overnight out in the garage in the middle of winter, and then the next day we'll take the mixture that's already mixed together and blend it, and you blend it in a matter of seconds, and it's ready to go. So, but we'll give this a quick blend again here. I don't dare add any more, so we're going to let that rest for a few minutes here. I got to share with you a couple things about the biggest meal for breakfast here, though, because, this biggest meal for breakfast situation. Where's it at? Breakfast. I got to share with you this one article here, if I can find it real quick. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day by Peak Fitness. Here's another one by Fitness Reborn, another article I found. I call it my stupid article. It's called Breakfast is Not the Most Important Meal of the Day. And I've got other articles. And so I said, what in the world are they talking about? And I read the article. It looked like a 10-year-old had written it. And so I did some homework, though. And they were all referring to this other article. Here's another one, Breakfast Not the Most Important Meal of the Day. So I got 3 articles here. Breakfast not the most important meal of the day. And when I went to the actual doctor's website, because they would refer to another website and another website, and I followed the chain going down the line, they all came to the same website that was talking about how if you fast one day every couple weeks and don't have a big meal for breakfast, it'll help boost your metabolism. It was all about fasting. It had nothing to do with not eating breakfast. And yet these people twisted it into this, and then it goes crazy on the internet. It just goes viral. You know how things go viral on the internet? And then all of a sudden, everybody actually believes it because they see it over and over and over. We talked about this yesterday. As long as you see it over and over and over and over, you're going to actually believe it. That's that fragmentized society that we live in. In fact, how many of you have ever heard of Deepak Das? Have any of you ever heard that red wine has antioxidant value? Y'all heard this, right? It must be true. Well, the person who discovered all this. His name is Deepak Das. University of Connecticut, UConn, Deepak Das. He's the one that discovered every bit of this, that red wine has antioxidant value. And his findings were published on 122 peer-reviewed journals. And of course, from all his findings that were published, hundreds of different colleges took that information and used it right inside their information. Thousands of people wrote articles based on these 122 peer-reviewed journals that wrote their articles. And pretty soon the entire media just gravitated to it saying, hey, red wine is good for you. And this is crazy what happened out there. But here's what happened. He actually lied about the entire thing. And a few years later, he was indicted. He lost his job. He was indicted for falsifying his information. And he actually admitted that there's no antioxidant value in red wine, and that the alcohol actually kills all the antioxidant value that the grapes had. But you will still see the false information going out there for generations to come. I can go on the internet and find stuff from 20 years ago that it's like they know that it's not true, but it still floats around there. It's amazing. But yeah, he lied about the entire thing, and that's why we believe that red wine has this antioxidant value or something. Oh, I got to plug in my waffle maker here. That's not going to help. It might help if you plug it in. Well, this one doesn't have an on-off switch. I've actually got 3 waffle makers at home. And I'm going to give this a little spray. By the way, this spray that you get out there, have you ever read the label on it? Calories, 0. Calories from fat, 0. It's a miracle. Of course, your portion is actually 1/4 of a second. Well, that was too fast, wasn't it? There. 558 portions in a jar, in a can. So, I mean, you're going, you're still going to get the oil, okay? Don't be thinking that this is calorie-free just because it's 0 calories there. That's what messes people up. So, all right, next thing we're going to talk about here, now that we understand calorie density and calories from fat, the calorie density and the satiety levels, okay? The next thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to blow you away again, we're going to turn your whole world completely upside down, and that is, what's the difference? Well, how many of you, here, let me ask this question. How many of you have heard to stay away from carbs? Like everybody, yeah. That's the worst thing you could ever possibly do. In fact, we actually need a lot more carbs in our diet. A lot more carbs. Let me tell you, there are some books out there. Let me share these books with you real quick here. There are some books out there. Reversing Heart Disease by Dr. Dean Ornish. He shows how the oil is the culprit to heart disease, and he shows how you need to have more carbs. Food Over Medicine, another one that shows you how you need to have more carbs. The Gluten Lie, telling you what an absolute myth that gluten is. You know how many people are going gluten-free out there? Let me tell you. I don't know if I have that with me. I have a whole section on gluten here, but let me see if I've got it today. I've got so many things here. The gluten situation. Out of every 200 people, here it is right here, Dr. McDougall, out of every 200 people that are going gluten-free, only 1 is a celiac or allergic to wheat or has a gluten intolerance. The other 199 out of 200 people that are going gluten-free have no reason whatsoever to go gluten-free. But they've been brainwashed into thinking they should go gluten-free. And I can talk more about that later, but I want to talk about carbs real quick here. Here's another book called The Low Carb Fraud. This is T. Colin Campbell. He wrote the China study, right? He's got a book called The Low Carb Fraud. How Not to Die, Dr. Michael Greger. Shows you how you need to eat more carbs, a lot more carbs. And even I got my autograph in his autograph in the book. The Starch Solution. Here's the one I'm looking for. The Starch Solution by Dr. McDougall. He shows you how 70% of your diet needs to be in carbs and starches. Now you're thinking, 70%? That's just crazy. Yes, 70% of your diet needs to be in carbs and starches. And here's the best one, the low-carb myth. This is Ari Whitten and Wade Smith, New York Times bestseller, has over 490 sources showing how you need to eat. Scientific, these are scientific studies, scientific sources showing how you need to eat more carbs. That's the low-carb myth by Ari Whitten. All of these books show you how you need to eat more carbs. Now, I've asked doctors, too. I said, based on nutrition, why would you tell anybody to eat more carbs? They look at me like a deer with headlights in their eyes. They don't have an answer. Sometimes they'll say, well, it's because your glycemic levels. You know, you shouldn't have those carbs because it'll spike your glycemic levels, especially for diabetics. When in reality, diabetics, the ones that eat the most carbs, have the least amount of diabetes. And when they tell you as a type 2, we're going to talk about diabetics later, but the people that eat the most carbs have the least amount of diabetes. And when they tell you not to eat carbs, you're actually fueling your type 2 diabetes. Yeah, so, but when you look at the reason, what is the reason why most people take carbs out of their diet? They want to lose weight. Exactly. Now I'm going to share with you the secret to every single diet on the planet. Okay. If you, let's see here. If you eliminate carbs, yeah, you're going to lose weight. But if you eliminate oils, you're going to lose weight. If you eliminate sugars, you're going to lose weight. Every single diet on the planet has some form of food restriction, which creates calorie restriction, which is why you lose weight. Even Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, they do portion control. That's how they get their food restriction, get their calorie restriction, which is why you lose weight on their systems. You ever see those containers? They got like different color containers, and you're supposed to have so much vegetable and protein and whatever. That's all portion control. You have to have less calories coming in than you do burning out in energy. That's the only way you're going to lose weight. You have to have more carbs. By the way, look how thick this is getting. I almost need it thinner now. I might need to thin that up a little bit. But I got to share with you one thing here. Quinoa, 21% carbs. Oats, 66% carbs. Bananas, 23% carbs. Apples, 15% carbs. Potatoes, 20% carbs. Beets is 10%. Oranges, 11%. Chickpeas, 27% carbs. Blueberries, 14% carbs. Are you telling me I'm not supposed to be eating all these healthy foods? But our brains are indoctrinated by society. Stay away from carbs. They're really telling you, stay away from healthy food. Satan has done a great job of deceiving people. Stay away from carbs. They're bad for you. Let me tell you, it's the healthiest food you could possibly eat. Now you got to know the difference between a complex carb and a simple carb. Here we go. Eat the potato, not the potato chip. This is your complex carbs. These are your simple carbs. You got to get away from the simple carbs. Those are the ones that are the problem. The whole carbs is what you need to eat. The whole grains, the whole rice, the whole potatoes. You know, isn't this whole message about wholeness? This is the reason we're at this camp meeting, is to understand wholeness. Well, there's nothing that's going to help you physically, mentally, and spiritually better than eating whole foods. Whole natural foods the way God has given them to us. Let me tell you, I better get a waffle going here. So we're going to put this in here. I'm just going to pour some in. It is a little thick, but we'll see how we do here. And I might want to thin that down just a little bit. First one always comes out really weird. As soon as you put that in that waffle maker, you need to flip it. That's a big issue that a lot of people don't do. And let me just see if I can thin this down just a little bit here. I knew I had it too thick. I was rushing it. I'm not sure if this is going to ring or ding, or we've actually got 3 of these at home, so we're going to take a look and see what happens here with that. But let me ask you though, what did the devil go after with Adam and Eve? Anybody know? Apples? Food? Appetite? Okay, good answers. Interestingly enough, Satan goes after the body. You know, he does. He knows the exact order: body, mind, and spirit. How many times have we heard that phrase before? Body, mind, and spirit. It's in that exact order. That's why Satan goes after the body. I mean, he's going after our kids' bodies before they're even old enough to make decisions. He's going after the body. He was going after our body before we were ever even born. That's why Satan attacks the body, because he knows the progression: body, mind, and spirit. It is all connected in such a mighty way. So when you start getting healthier, all we're doing is reversing the process here. The whole world's upside down. We just reverse the process. When you start getting healthier physically, then you're going to start getting healthier mentally, and then you're going to have a better connection with God. It is all connected in such a mighty way. And we just turn the whole process upside down. I got to take a look at this. I'm not sure if it's going to be ready yet. Okay, it's doing okay though. But that's what you need to do, is look at the things that are so upside down and just do the opposite. Usually if society's telling you to do something, it's usually something you should not be doing. Especially with this carb situation. I mean, I've got article after article after article about the carbs. How many, you've heard the blue zones, right? You've all heard of the blue zones? You know, the 5 blue zones in the world. Well, in those 5 blue zones, you know, they pray more. We talked about this yesterday. They eat a plant-strong lifestyle, but the common characteristic, they all eat a high-carb diet. That's one of the healthiest things we can do, is high carbs. And when you're eating those whole carbs, your satiety rating is going to be higher. Your calorie density is going to be far lower. And the more it gets processed, the more it gets processed, the more it gets processed, your calorie density increases and your satiety level goes down. That's the whole system. So you got to look at those issues. Okay, I'm going to have you come over here if you want to see this. And we're going to pull this waffle out of here. Woo! There we go. Now this baby's a little hot. And not quite as brown as I want it. Now I'm going to put another one in here. You won't always have to spray this, but I'm going to just make sure here. Doesn't take a lot, but... And normally, what I try to do is hit the outsides first. The first one's always weird. But we try to go on the outsides first so you can get the whole coverage of the outside. And then I work my way in. That's the way I like to do it. And then we're going to close this, immediately give it a spin. That's what we're supposed to do immediately. I love these waffle machines like this because it gives you a lot better texture. It's a lot better waffle than the thin ones. You ever see the thin ones? They don't quite give you the quality of the Belgian waffle makers. So we're going to get another one going there, so that'll be good to go. All right, I'm running out of time, and I haven't even made a burrito yet. Okay, let's make a quick burrito here for you. Remember the potatoes we did yesterday, right? We've got our potatoes there. And I've got, here. I did bring onions. So, because remember we chopped all these up yesterday, and when you have everything chopped up, boy, you can really go to town here. And some bell pepper. and I'm going to just give this a little finer chop. Potatoes. Whoop, whoop. Don't let it get away from you. Whoa! My reflexes are pretty fast. I love doing potatoes like this. Look at this. You could cook that right there. You've got everything you need to do some sauteed potatoes for breakfast. And if you got a good pan, you can do it with water, not necessarily oil as well. These wraps are really good, especially if you can find the big ones like that. So, what we're going to do here, and this will be really interesting, we're going to put the potatoes and some peppers and onions in here. I'm going to spin this real quick. Woo! And right here I've got some tofu eggs. Really easy to make. You can just use some McKay's chicken style seasoning and turmeric. And nutritional yeast flakes really taste good in it. So we've got that. We can put a little salsa. I've got my organic salsa here. Like that. And what else does it need? My vegan cheese. Does anybody ever use Daya cheese? Right there, Daya cheese. Still got a high oil content, but I'll take this over regular cheese any day. So we'll put some cheese right there. And then we're going to show you how to fold this baby up real quick here. So we can take the sides and you kind of go out a little bit. We're going to pull this back, and then you kind of tuck the sides in. And I just squeeze right here. I just squeeze the oxygen out of it is what I'm doing. And then I go forward a little more and a little more and a little more. And boom, you got your burrito. Now, if we would have done this, say, with hot, you could actually take all your ingredients, heat it up, put it in the burrito, and it's ready to eat. But instead, I'm going to put this right here, and we're going to try to heat this up and brown it on every side. You can actually put these in the freezer right like this. And I'll put these in the freezer and just let them go. And then, after I thaw them out in the refrigerator, then you can go to cook them. But we're going to speed up that process. Hopefully I won't burn it. I'm not used to that pan. So let's see if this is still not quite ready to go. But that's how quick it is to make a burrito. So let's do it one more time here. We got our potatoes, since I got enough potatoes here. And you can add whatever ingredients you want. Eggs are good. I love my tofu eggs. We put these in the freezer in baggies. I do a lot of big batches and freeze things. By the way, tomorrow, we're actually going to show you how to set up your freezer for success. So that's tomorrow's program. And some cheese. You can do no cheese, too. Some people don't. Woo! And some people like a lot of cheese. So, yeah, just like that. We're going to bring this in, pull it back, close the sides up, and just keep rolling. People don't know how easy that is. Isn't that easy? I should have been a cook. Yeah. Okay, got to see if this waffle's done here. Okay, just like that. It's actually getting some browning here. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but actually getting some browning here. See how browning it's getting? And so if it's not done in the middle, you want to cook it a little longer. But now here's the whole concept. Here's what you got to get. Okay, I'll do another one. Now I'm not going to oil this, but I'll bet you I can still get one done. See how thick this is getting? It's getting thicker and thicker. That's why when I'm doing big batches at home, I will actually soak the soy milk and the oats overnight, and then I blend it, because now you're going to get the perfect consistency every time. When you do it like I did the fast way, you can see how it thickens up and thickens up, so it's going to take adjusting. So if you do it where you soak equal parts of the liquid and oats, and then let it soak for hours, it's going to be the right consistency when it's blending, and you'll have the right consistency when it comes out. So, but here's what we're going to do. You don't want to put these in baggies yet. I have these gallon baggies here that I'll put it in. But if you put them in there now and freeze them, you're just going to have this ice cube that comes out of there. So you have to freeze these in the oven individually like this. So we'll have 4 waffles on here. I'll stick it in the freezer, and usually within 20 minutes, they're hard. And after they're frozen, then you bag them up in baggies. And we'll get about 5 waffles in a baggie. And then you throw them in the freezer, and you can pull them out anytime you want. So that's the best way to do it. And it's called IQF. If you don't know what IQF is, you'll see it in the grocery stores. IQF, individual quick freeze. They do it with blueberries so they don't stick together. It's all frozen individually, and then you bag it together. IQF, individual quick freeze. Oh, coming out a little bit there, huh? So, all right, I think that's it. Woo! Hey. Look away, look away. I knew that was going to happen, too. I did. Because it's not my pan. I borrowed a pan today. You know how you ever get used to your own pans? You just have to have your own pans. So, don't try this at home. But that's what it's supposed to look like right there. Yeah, not like that. Not like that. You didn't see that. No, no, no. Hey, you'll notice if you've seen my but this thing really cooks fast too. You'll see on my website and stuff, we put stuff up warts and all. I mean, I show the mistakes, and I talk about people because, you know, I've went to different people's websites, and if you look at people on television, cooking shows on television, and I won't mention any of these people by name, but you'll be looking at it, and here's this beautiful cake, but there's these crumbs around it when they're making it. And all of a sudden, the cameras, everybody's like, freeze. Nobody moves anywhere. And here comes a person with a vacuum. And they vacuum up all the crumbs, and then they go right back to recording. Yeah, you'll see it now. You will notice it now because I pointed it out to you. But you'll see these crumbs, right? And then the very next clip, boom, those crumbs are gone. It's a miracle. You know, they just amazingly just disappear. And that's why everything on TV looks so beautiful and glamorized. Oh, yeah, it's amazing. But it's all fake. You know, that's not the way the real kitchen is it? But you gotta, you know, the kitchen, you make messes. You know, hey, I'll tell you what, if God can clean up this mess, He can clean up any kitchen, amen? Yeah. Hey, I didn't spill any on here. Come on now, right? That's actually just right. Yeah. Now tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow's a fun day. I think I was going to do the meats. We're doing the meats tomorrow, aren't we? Meats tomorrow and cheeses are on Thursday. And then I'm trying to tighten everything up so I can do this testimony on Friday that you're going to love. So I got to do my testimony this week. Is that burning yet? Okay, you shut it off. All right. Doesn't that look great now? I mean, that's what it's supposed to look like. And it's hot. You can bring it over here. And I love angle cutting things. You can cut them at an angle like that. Boom. That's when it looks good. It's a work of art. Don't try this at home, kids. So that's the things to look for. Watch out for your satiety ratings. Watch out for your calorie density. You don't want to eat those things that have a lot of calories in a little area. And you want things that are satisfying. And eat more carbs. The whole natural carbs. And speaking of dogs, I was at the pet store here a couple days ago. I just posted it on my Facebook. And they have dog food and cat food. It used to be gluten-free. They used to have gluten-free dog food and gluten-free pet food. Now it's all grain-free. That's the new tagline for pet foods, is grain-free. And I'll bet you it's just going to domino effect into people. Pretty soon people are just going to say, well, you shouldn't eat any grains at all. You know, that's because, you know, if dogs can't have it, maybe people can't have it, you know. I know, it's just a nutty, nutty world we live in. I hope everybody got a video for the family. I've got a couple more if we do need them. I've got my book table over here, so we'll be on the book table if people want to buy books. And they are available at the bookstore over there. Anything's available at the bookstore. Thursday, we're going to do a book signing at 1 o'clock in the bookstore. And so we're looking good. I think that's about it for today. I'm going to get my last waffle out of here. Woo! Don't try this. Hot, hot, hot. And just like that. Those are going to go in the freezer, and then we'll bag them together and be ready to go. So anyway, thank you all for coming out, and we will see you all tomorrow.